There is a guy on your feed walking through a Walmart with his phone out, pointing it at clearance toys. He scans a board game. The app on his screen lights up green. He bought it for $10, and Amazon says it sells for $30. He buys the whole shelf. The caption says he turned a Tuesday afternoon into $1,000. No boss. No inventory you have to make. Just a phone, a barcode, and the gap between what the store charges and what Amazon charges. And the strange part is, the gap is real. That $10 game really does sell for $30. So today I went looking for the catch. Because there is always a catch. This is the play they call retail arbitrage. You walk into a store, you scan barcodes. The app tells you what each item sells for on Amazon and what your profit would be after fees. You buy the ones that show a profit, you ship them to Amazon, and Amazon sells them for you. Buy low in one place, sell high in another. That is the whole idea. It is one of the oldest moves in business, and it absolutely works. The question was never whether the gap exists. The question is what is left in your pocket after everybody else takes their cut. Here is what you are going to learn in the next 10 minutes. First, the green check mark on that app is actually showing you and why it is lying by leaving things out. Second, the real hourly rate once you count the part of the job nobody films. The driving and the scanning. And third, the structural problem that has been quietly killing this play for new sellers, the part that has nothing to do with how good you are at finding deals. Let me start with that $30 board game, because the math is where this gets interesting. You bought it for $10. Amazon lists it at $30. Feels like $20 of profit. It is not. The first thing Amazon takes is a referral fee, which is their cut for letting you sell on their platform. On most categories, that is 15%. On a $30 item, that is $4.50 gone. Then, if you are using their warehouses, which almost everyone does, Amazon charges a fulfillment fee to store the item, pick it, pack it, and ship it. On a small, light item that runs around $5 to $6. So before you have counted anything else, Amazon has taken roughly $10 out of your $30. You paid $10 for the game. 10 plus 10 is 20. Your $20 profit just became 10. And we are not done subtracting. You had to ship that game from your house to Amazon's warehouse, so there is inbound shipping. There is a chance the item gets returned, because returns are simply part of selling online. And if it does not sell fast, Amazon charges you storage fees by the month. Smart sellers build in what they call a return allowance, money set aside to absorb the items that come back. Most beginners skip that line entirely, which is exactly why their spreadsheet says they are winning, while their bank account says otherwise. By the time the dust settles, that $10 game that sells for $30 leaves you something in the range of $7 or $8, not $20. The gap was real. It was just never as wide as the green check mark made it look. Now, $7 or $8 on a $10 item is not bad. That is a solid return on the money. The problem is not the percentage. The problem is the hours. Because this is a volume game, not a jackpot game. And volume means time. So let me do the part of the math the highlight reels cut out. To find items worth buying, you have to scan. A lot. According to sourcing data, a focused person scanning products can analyze around 50 items in an hour and find maybe 2 or 3 that are actually worth buying. 2 or 3 out of 50. And that is on a good run. Sellers will openly tell you there are days you drive to 5 different stores and find absolutely nothing worth scanning twice. Nothing. You burned an afternoon and a tank of gas and came home with an empty cart. Let us say you have a decent day. 2 hours of driving between stores. 2 hours of scanning the aisles. 1 hour of buying, prepping, labeling, and boxing everything up to ship to Amazon. That is 5 hours of your day. And let us say it was a genuinely good day and you walked out with 10 profitable items, each netting you about $8. After all those fees we just talked about. 10 items, $8 each, is $80. $80 for 5 hours of work comes out to $16 an hour. Before gas. Before the cost of the scanning apps, which run anywhere from $20 to $70 a month. Before taxes, because this is self-employment income and the government wants its share too. $16 an hour on a good day, doing physical labor in fluorescent lighting, hoping the clearance gods smile on you. That is the honest version of the Tuesday afternoon that supposedly made $1,000. And I want to be fair here because this is the part where it gets genuinely better for the people who stick with it. Speed compounds. The sellers who have been doing this for a year scan 3 times faster. They know which stores mark down on which days. They have memorized which categories sell. Their hourly rate climbs. But that is a skilled tradesperson's wage earned over months of unpaid practice, not a loophole. It is a job. A real one, with a learning curve, dressed up online as free money. Now the third thing, and this is the one that actually worries me, because it is the part you cannot out-hustle. The ground is shifting under this play, and not in the seller's favor. Over the last few years, Amazon has steadily raised its fees. Referral fees, fulfillment fees, storage fees, all up. Every increase comes straight out of that already thin margin we calculated. An item that barely worked last year does not work this year, and you have no control over that. That is the platform deciding to take a bigger slice, and you simply absorb it. But the bigger problem is something called gating. Amazon increasingly locks down which brands and categories a new seller is even allowed to list. You walk into a store, you find a genuinely profitable item, you scan it, and the app tells you, you are not approved to sell this brand. To get ungated, you often need real invoices from authorized wholesale distributors, which is the exact thing a person flipping clearance items does not have. So the pool of stuff a beginner can actually sell keeps shrinking. And on top of that, some brands actively file complaints against resellers to push them off their listings, even though reselling a product you legally bought is perfectly legal under what is called the first sale doctrine. Legal does not mean frictionless. You can be in the right and still get your listing pulled and your money tied up. Put those together and here is the honest picture. The deals still exist. Clearance never stopped happening. But the margin is thinner, the rules are tighter, and the path is narrower than it was when those viral videos were filmed. Which brings me to the number that ties this whole thing together. The one statistic that tells you everything. When you look at actual retail arbitrage sellers, 70% of them make less than $5,000 a month in revenue. And revenue is not profit, remember. That is the number before all the fees and gas and taxes we just walked through. 31% make less than $500 a month in revenue. So roughly a third of the people doing this play are clearing, after costs, something closer to pocket change than a paycheck. The guy with the green check mark and the full cart is real. He exists. He is just standing at the very top of a curve where most of the people are barely off the ground. So is it a scam? No. And that is what makes it sticky. The gap between the store price and the Amazon price is 100% real, and people genuinely build small businesses on it. But it is a grind business with a low hourly floor, a brutal hit rate of 2 or 3 good items per 50 scanned, rising fees you do not control, and a gating system quietly squeezing out the exact beginners the videos are recruiting. It is a job that pays like a job, sold to you as a loophole that pays like a slot machine. If you go in knowing it is $16 an hour on a good day, that it gets better only after months of unpaid reps, and that the platform can change the rules whenever it wants, then go in with your eyes open. Just do not quit anything for it on the strength of a Tuesday afternoon you saw on your phone. That's the play. Now you know where the money actually is.